Hello, welcome to the Project Catalyst Open Space. So my name's Francois Nukel of Governance Alive. Governance Alive has long-standing expertise in self-governance, large-scale generative dialogue, and participant-led self-determination. And we're here to help the Cardano community grow to new levels of collaboration, self-governance, and innovation by harnessing the multiplicity of perspectives. And our aim here is to open the space for the various voices of the ADA community to be heard, in order that together we're able to co-create a new future. So a key word here is dialogue. Dialogue is not a monologue of two people, as some people think it is, but it actually means a flow of meaning from the Greek dialogos, and is quite distinguishable from discussion or debate. In debate, you've got the English word battle. Dialogue is about co-creating a flow of meaning between everyone involved. And the quantum physicist David Bohm refers to it as a dance between the observer and the observed, whereby in the dance something new is created. And there are four elements to pay attention to in dialogue: listening, suspending, voicing, and respecting. And I'll just say just a few words. Just one of them is about listening and listening to each other and at a deeper level. The other one is suspending like suspending judgment in order to be able to hear. And another aspect is respecting each other, which is very important. And another element is voicing and being able to articulate what it is you're thinking or perceiving. And what open space, so this is about dialogue, but what open space allows is to enable dialogue at scale with large numbers of people. So whereas dialogue tends to be smaller groups, we're talking here about from 100 to 500, even 1,000, sometimes even more. So this is what open space allows by allowing the mass gathering, for example, to break into smaller, more manageable groups around topics of their own choosing, while still remaining connected to the whole. So there are 5 basic principles and 1 law in open space, which I'll explain in a minute. But before I do so, just wanted to show you what we're going to be, how we're going to be working today. So in the platform, if you go to the second tab, but you don't have to do that because you can see it now in my background, you would get our plan, our agenda, basically what we're going to be doing. And you can see the rows represent rooms or breakout rooms, spaces, whatever you want to call them. And the columns are time slots. Now, you can see here, there are 3 time slots, each of 45 minutes, but we're aware that many of you were not expecting to come here for that length of period. So after the first time slot, we're basically, that'll be sort of our official lot. And then those who want to carry on in discussion can then stay on for a second time slot or even a third time slot. So, but the other thing you can see that everything is empty, or there's no topics, no nothing. That's because the topics, you're the ones who create the topics. With these are your topics, not ours, not IOG's, no, not anybody else's. These are the things that you're passionate about. So we're going to come back to the agenda and how we're going to actually create the agenda in a minute. I'm just going to briefly explain the 5 principles I mentioned. So the first principle is whoever comes are the right people. So you're the right people, you've come. You can see who's here on Zoom, but you can also see on the platform the many little icons, which at the moment have bland faces. Very few have photographs because we didn't ask you to put photographs, but if you had profiles, you would actually see those icons would be pictures of all of you. So you could actually see and you can see all of us at the moment are in the main room. But as we move and go into different breakout, into different rooms, further down, room 1, down, further down, then your icon will move with it. And so the next principle states that whenever it starts is the right time. So you already saw the time slots I showed you in the agenda before, but those are very flexible. So it's not, we don't keep to a very rigid time schedule, but it's very flexible. And in fact, once we're finished and ready to get started, we'll adjust the times according to the reality. So it's very flexible. Whenever it starts is the right time. The third principle is wherever it happens is the right place. So wherever you go is going to be the right place. There's nobody going to tell you where to go. It's all you're led by your passion. So the note in each room, and so you go to the rooms you want to go to. If you want to go to a room with a particular topic. So in each of the rooms, there is a Google Doc, and we encourage people to take notes and to take notes collaboratively in the Google Doc. It means that you have a memory of what was said, but also it also means that people who wanted to attend, but also wanted to attend another session, you can't be in two places at once, can then go back and see what was said in that room. And if your the group that's in the room doesn't particularly like Google Docs, there's also an option for a whiteboard or a Miro board frame, which you'll see in the tabs at the top. And when you enter the room, you'll see, which you do by pressing the room number on the left sidebar, you'll see that the green join video at the very top will change. At the moment it's saying join video for main room because that's where we joined. But the moment if you went into room 1, for example, that would change to join video for room 1. So each room has its own Zoom. So when you move room, you have to join a new Zoom. And so the principle is you go into the room you want to have the conversation is, and you join Zoom. So if you're already in a call, we suggest that you first leave the Zoom call you're in, then move into the room you want to go, and then join the new Zoom call from there. You can do it other ways, and it also works, but it can also get confusing sometimes. So that's our suggestion. So that's in terms of location, place. The next principle is whatever happens is the only thing that could have. So this is an invitation not to be thinking, oh, this should be happening, or we should be doing this or that. But for example, if you can't go to a session you're passionate because there's another one you're interested in, well, hopefully you'll be able to see the notes that were taken. So whatever happens is the right thing, and even if you get lost, that might be the right thing. So one thing that might happen, you might press those 2 little arrows on the left-hand side below the photograph. Those little arrows, if you press those, it actually collapses the whole left sidebar, which is great when you're working in the document because it gives you more space, because otherwise everything gets crammed. But then at the end, you need to be able to get back into to change rooms. So to do that, you go to the very top of the website, and there'll be a button at the top left that says main all rooms, and that'll be above the join video place button. So the last principle is when it's over, it's over. So while we've got scheduled 45-minute sessions, if a passionate conversation comes to a natural end after 15 minutes, that's fine. It's over. There's no need to artificially fill the time. On the contrary, go and see what else is going on. By the same token, if a session is not finished by the end of the period, that's fine too. Don't stop. Carry on, because you're passionate about it. And if you find people are coming into the same room for a next session, just ask them to find another room. and because there'll be plenty of spare rooms. And if that happens to you as a convener, just leave a message in the live chat on the bottom right. Leave a message, and then that tells everybody the room is in a different room, and we will also make the adjustment on our side so that everybody will get to the right room. Then there's one law, and this is the most important law in. Right, here we are. Right, there's one law, and it's called the law of 2 feet. And basically, what the law of 2 feet is if you're neither contributing nor learning, move on. And this is quite different from most conversations where people feel uncomfortable about leaving a group in a conversation. But in open space, just leave. It's completely okay. Move on to somewhere where you can contribute or learn. For example, if the conversation was not what you were expecting, use your 2 feet. However, in online virtual, 2 feet doesn't make much sense. So we've renamed that the law of damn, sorry, the chat keeps right. There's a little
law
feature.
of finger click. Okay,
the law of 2 clicks, and basically, it's basically you leave. Once you've left the room, you go to your new room. You click on the room you want to go to. That's the first click, and then you click on the join Zoom. So just remember the 2 clicks. Go to the room, then join the Zoom. And so there's two further little roles. We have the 2 specific roles. So while most of you will be engaged as participants in some kind of conversation, some of you may be bumblebees. And bumblebees are people who get excited about a topic for a while, but then want to move on. And they leave and move on. And every time they pick a bit of information from the rooms they visit. And they're important because they're actually also bringing ideas from one room to another. They're actually cross-pollinating ideas unconsciously. They don't do it on purpose, it just happens. And so the bumblebees are very important. And likewise, the butterflies are almost the opposite. The butterflies are those who decide they don't want to be part of any conversation. They just sort of flutter around, hang around somewhere in the virtual space. That might be in the quiet room, or it might be in the spare room, or it might be in the main room. And butterflies, because they look attractive, they attract other people. So butterflies can tend to come together in an unplanned way, and there are all kinds of interesting conversations that grow out of that. And the butterflies, and some of the best conversations are sometimes butterfly conversations. So now it's not the case that some people are butterflies, some people are bees, and the rest are participants. It's not like allocated roles. It's simply, it's a mindset. It's a principle. So sometimes you may be a participant, but then you decide to become a butterfly, or then you decide to be a bumblebee. And then so you can change roles and take on different perspectives. Again, it's the law of 2 feet, the ability to move on. And that's basically it. And so we're now going to sort of open the agenda. So we're coming back to this here, which is the second tab in the main room at the top. And so anyone can convene or host a session. So you may want to show something, or you may want to have a conversation about a deep issue that concerns you, or you may want to learn something. You may simply have a question that you want answers for. You don't know. So the convener is not necessarily a knowledge person. It can be anybody and any issue that they want to bring. So anybody can convene a session, and we simply ask that you go to the session room at the start and then get the conversation started. You don't even have to finish it, and that's the law of 2 feet. So that's basically it. So if you'd like to go and start entering your topics, any topics or any things you want to do, as I say, it could be questions, whatever you're really passionate about the whole Cardano. And then we'll get started. As soon as we've got an agenda up, we'll get started. And maybe before that, any questions? And you can ask me any questions at any time.
I don't have a question, but I just want to say this whole setup was quite amazing. So.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so I'll stop sharing my slides so that we can all see each other, and a large number that it can become an issue. Right. So if you now look on the right-hand side, on the left-hand side, sorry, I've now copied and pasted into each of the rooms the titles that you've given and give them according to the room numbers, which is in the on the agenda. So there's room 1 has something, room 3 has something, room 4, room 5, and then also room 11. So if you add some more topics, I will add them too, but I suggest that the floor is now open. You can go to the rooms, the space is open.